Today I'm speaking with Nia and Spencer Smith. How long have you guys been married?
This is our 14th year together and being married.
Spencer, I want to know, where and how did you first meet Nia?
It was, I met her before we actually started really dating. That was probably about 2002 at a college party. And met her across the table from a 𝗦𝗏𝗶𝗱 challenge. And got her digits and stuff, did my thing, and never called her. So, but yeah, she always stuck on my mind. But then I met her again, December of my senior year, 2 years later in 2004. And decided to pursue her at that point. So I figured I'd grown up in that 2-year span enough to call her.
How did you both know that this was the one person you wanted to be with and to marry?
One of those feelings that you had in your gut. I knew it from the moment that I met her, in 2002. This girl was dangerous for me. And she actually threw me off my game, man. And I thought I had some pretty dope game back in the day, man. But the first time I met her, I was saying some pretty cheesy stuff. Yeah. That I normally don't say just because I was uncomfortable. But I just knew it's like, it's her beauty, her personality, her grace. I knew that she was the type of person that was going to be able to push me to be a better man than what I am. And I need that inspiration from out of my wife, somebody that's going to push me to be able to, to be the best person that I can be.
It's the exact same way for me. I mean, obviously he's hot and, I was attracted to him, but actually sitting down and getting to know him and talking to him. And like, one of the things that I knew that when I wanted to marry someone, I wanted somebody that, believed in God and Jesus. And that was one of the things that he first talked about when we had one of our first dates. Maybe it was our first date.
It was.
So, and I was like, ooh. And we'd been gone to the same church before. I was like, it's like God just told me,
How do you guys both resolve conflict in your marriage?
The biggest thing, we have conflict, and we keep Christ at the center of our relationship. That's the center of all of our decisions and discussions. That we got to be able to lead with love, just as He does. My view when I'm talking and having those conversations, those difficult conversations, I had to be able to see Nia that she's also, a child of God as well too, and I got to be able to treat her as such.
Otherwise, we might go off on each other.
Yeah.
We're definitely different.
Yeah. But I look at it through her intent. If it's a discussion we're having, kind of realize her intent. And sometimes emotions may get high, but I know that the intent's not there to be able to hurt me. More so that she's trying to maybe get her point across with something. Just realize that, hey, this is my wife that I'm talking to. This is also a child of God that I'm talking to. And, you can't harbor anger and stuff or retaliation back at somebody, because that's not, what Jesus has done. That's not what God wants within the marriage. He wants us to be able to love, each other, and in turn, love and connect with the people that are.
And sometimes I do have to kind of remove myself, pray about it, and then come back to the conversation later. So I'm in the right state of mind rather than being emotional about it.
Plus, I have to let her know that she's always right. Otherwise, I'm not going to get those intimate moments.
Stop it.
Speaking of intimacy, how do you maintain the intimacy in your marriage?
You got to get it in when you get it in.
Hey, well, we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, 2 of the kids are on school. They're distracted by online schooling up here. 2 of them are down for nap time, or one's playing video games. Hey, you want to go upstairs for a minute? And or you have to be able to outsleep them, right? So
they fall asleep.
And so it's usually after midnight that you still have to try to be able to make your move if Nia's still up. So we do, and you have to be able to do that. It's important for us to be able to connect. We see the value in that and stuff. And with 4 kids, you can't let them distract you from, building up your relationship and your intimacy with your wife. And you got to be able to put, for me and my thoughts, putting her before the kids, because if I'm taking care of her and her needs, the kids are going to get taken care of through that relationship. You know, to add, you know, with the COVID piece, we have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
You know, we're always playing.
We're friends too, yeah.
Yeah, we're always playing, making jokes on each other, you know, picking at each other, you know, and stuff. And you know, it's a playful marriage, and it's good, you know. So you know, when I'm not in office work, usually I'm out with the kids and with 𝗦cie, messing around and having some fun.
I mean, we went through challenges throughout the 14 years too. It's not like it's always like perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
𝗦cie, with 4 little kids, how do you find time for yourself to practice self-care?
Before COVID, you know, getting out and going to the gym, spending time with my girlfriends, like it's like therapy to get through doing that. You know, that's probably the main 2 things. Just getting up earlier before the kids, doing Bible study, just like get the day started out right, because you know it's going to be crazy at 8 o'clock. You know.
In 2020, how did you overcome the challenge of quarantining together?
In that time to be able to connect with God through prayer and or reading, I mean, is very important. You know, to have that relationship with Him, and then it come back full circle and stuff. And we'll have, you know, discussions and talk about, you know, what she's reading or something that I've listened to or read, and it builds that relationship with each other. And it kind of keeps in perspective, you know, who's really in charge, and that's Jesus in our relationship. So I would say, you know, taking the time, you know, praying with each other, praying around the kids, taking time to be able to pray towards God is one big piece that helps us in our relationship and keeps us focused, you know, during COVID and being trapped in the house with each other.
And getting space, because like we need our own time too, and we don't have to be together all the time, you know. Sometimes it's like we got to get the kids to bed early so that we can have some time together too, you know, just hanging out and talking, you know. But yeah, space. I like working out is like one of the big things too, to like just relieve some stress, you know.
My final question, what piece of advice would you give other couples who are considering marriage?
I would say if you are a Christ follower, you know, stay connected during that time period. Ask for His help. He'll be there for you. If you're not so much into a believer, that piece, I think mentorship and friends are something that's huge for a guy. I think a lot of the guys feel like they have to be able to do things solo. We're not really set up that way. You need support. You need a support group. You need to have good friends around you, because they're going to be able to help, you know, influence you or talk you off that ledge. Or if you just need the space, you know, that you're upset with your wife, you can practice out that conversation to be able to how can you resolve a conflict or something that's going on. I think, you know, including other people is one of the bigger things that, you know, men can be able to do, you know, to be able to help out their marriage. I mean, in any form, whether COVID or not, COVID periods, just keeping a good social people connected around you.
Definitely putting God first, then your husband, and then kids. I mean, and that's hard when kids come. But to keep it in that type of order, and also, you know, have dates. Like even if you can't go out or can't even afford to go out on dates all the time, do them in the house, you know.
Wine night.
Yeah, wine nights.
We have wine nights,
Yeah.
so, and they're fun.
They are.
Thank you for the interview, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and congratulations on your 14 years of marriage.